Okay, here in round 3, we've got the choice we'll play first. Got all of our colors. Still just can't find our cheap spells though, but we're going to keep it. We have a lot, right? Yeah, we have a pretty good amount of cheap spells. I'm a bit surprised we haven't seen them in our openers. It's pretty important to see at least a 3-drop, but I certainly can't mulligan a hand that's got all 3 colors and a fairly good distribution of spells to lands. All right, playing against aggro Mardu would be my guess. Bring low. Potentially someday being good. How many 5-drops do I have in this deck? I only have 4. And 4 4-drops. Just have like all of the late game of our deck in our hand. All right. Well, I was hoping for a little bit of an easier ride here in match 3, but we'll see how aggressive our opponent really is. Chief of the Edge is something we would like not to see here. In fact, I'd go as far as saying I'd like to not see a 2-drop, but can we be so lucky? All right, no follow-up play is good news. And I guess a land there is actually pretty good too. Still no need to play the Flooded Strand just yet that I can think of. So we'll just play the mountain and pass. We at least get to put down the Sultai Flayer roadblock next turn. We're going to be continuing to take a Mardu Hateblade beatdown, I guess, but I'm a little less concerned about that. I definitely wanted to play a Morph there. Whoa. That was weird. I wonder if my opponent's got like lag issues or something. He must. I feel like he's been playing kind of delayed and a little bit slow. All right, see what his 3-drop is. My guess is Morph. In this format, that's usually a pretty safe assumption. Sultai Emissary. All right, well, I'll accept that too. That's not too devastating to deal with at the moment. Do we want to bust out the Flooded Strand now? I guess I'm ready to start drawing some spells at this point, so we'll bust out the Flooded Strand. Deck thin a bit. Slightly increase the chances of drawing non-land cards. Like I said, Sultai Flare is a pretty good roadblock in this spot. Thankfully, our opponent has not had an explosive start by any means. And if he does use removal on Sultai Flare, I guess if it's Throttle, we don't get to gain the life, but whatever. All right. Take our 1. No follow-up play, which is nice. Let's, I feel like if he's leaving mana up, he's got like kill shot or something. So I think I'm actually just going to play Crew Shock and pass. Guess I could actually play the Guide here. And then I can block the Hate Blade. But no, I can take another 1 point of damage. Let's just get the Crew Shock out and pass. I'm not really strongly motivated to attack into an Emissary. With open mana on turn 4, just seems suspicious. I suspect Sandblast or Killshot, so I'd rather play around it. So it could be just straight up 2 color. That Hate Blade's done some work. It's already lava axed us. What do we got? Dragon Scale General. It's pretty good. Well, thankfully I have a Bring Low for it, but he is going to be able to pump. But I actually think that's okay. So our turn's going to be kill General, swing team. Untapped land there would have let us play the Guide, but that's okay. Definitely don't want his guys getting any bigger than they have to. So we'll get in for 8 here. He gets to block with the Emissary, but we got a plan going on here, so we're okay. Blocks the 5, takes the 3, goes to 17, gets a 2/2. Can crack back for 4, but we've got Water Whirl for his next creature, and it lets us crack back once again. I could have actually left back the Flare, but I'm okay getting some damage in now. I feel like we can potentially tempo him out with the Water Whirl. I mean, we're currently winning the race. Next turn, technically, I can just go Inoc Guide, Enhanced Awareness. Probably not in that order. I guess we can't until I get a land, but I'm assuming we draw a land off the Enhanced Awareness. Dragon Scale General is a good card. No doubt about it. No attacks this time. That's interesting. Battle Priest. Well, why didn't he swing then? And he didn't leave up the mana to give Death Touch. I think he botched it pretty bad there, actually. So now we get to swing with everything. Maybe he makes awkward blocks. Let's swing. See what he does. He has no death touch anymore, so not really intimidated. He definitely tapped in the worst fashion he could have, which is tremendously beneficial for us at the moment. Hmm. That's interesting. Well, now I'm tempted to just enhanced awareness plus Inoc guide. Ditch one of these, play this, get a guide out there and pass. So it could have removal for our guide, but if he uses removal on our guide, I don't think I'm overly concerned about that. Now we can follow up with Scion plus Tuskguard or Water Whirl. Both of those options are pretty good. I don't think he can really that comfortably attack into us. If he's got a combat trick, he can, but even if if Inoc Guide forces removal or a combat trick here, I'm satisfied. No attacks. Now he leaves the mana up. Um, that's interesting. I think I'm just going to play 2 creatures and pass. He's leaving his mana up. The fact that he didn't outlast is very interesting to me. So I'm just going to get 2 creatures out there and pass. I'm basically just going to set up for a Water Whirl that's really brutal. Actually, you know what? I'm going to swing with my Inoc Guide. Not that it's got trample. I should have done this before playing the Tuskguard Captain, in case he uses a combat trick, but that's okay. I'm not playing around Crux of Fate or End Hostilities. I guess if he has either of those, we at least get to gain 12 life, which helps against aggro. I mean, I'd much rather have 3 creatures, but it's tough to play around board wipes when you don't know if your opponent has them. And I've talked about in the past, I do not like the idea of playing around rare board wipes. People were happy to disagree with me when when they did in fact have the rare board wipe. But then when I don't play around it and win, I don't see any comments telling me that was the right move. So people kind of sometimes see what they want to see. All right, Eric Nightblade, not that big of a deal. I think we're gonna. That's interesting. I think I can kill him. Yeah, I can kill him with Water Whirl now. So we're just gonna bounce his 2 remaining dudes. And if he's got a feat, he has to do it for blue, which means could maybe bring that to a 3/4. But then he can't give this Death Touch anymore, but it still has it because of the counter. Death Touch Lifelink's a nice ability combo. I liked that land from I can't believe how much time our opponent's used. He must be lagging so bad right now. I mean, I feel like I've gotten quicker with this format because I started really slow, but it's not as grindy as it used to be either. All right, let's just bounce this 2 untapped, guys. Guess I should have left a blue mana up so I could pump my Scion. So Murderous Cut would kill something at this point. You can actually, in fact, afford Murderous Cut. So it looks like we're just playing against black-white value. Looks good. He didn't play it very tight, but it looks like a pretty good deck. All right. Yeah, he's got some good cards in there. So we gain life. Our opponent's going to get to crack back for some lifelink, but I'm not even sure if he can really afford to do that. I could have dealt 10 damage to him, too, if I'd left a blue mana untapped, so that was a mistake on my part. A little bit of loose playing there. Opponent's at 3. He's going to go up to 7 if he attacks. He's going to be able to play a Hateblade plus Merrick Nightblade. We're at 21, though, which is a pretty healthy life total. Opponent just chooses to concede instead. We had a couple lands coming, which wasn't going to help, but conceded, so don't have to worry about it. We're on the draw now. He does seem pretty aggressive, but the problem with his style of aggression is he's got Death Touch, both in Merrick Nightblade and Hateblade, which makes the flock idea sound less appealing, in my opinion. So I think we're just going to keep it the same. I don't really... If I see a bunch of flyers, I can bring this in. If I see some rare artifact or enchantment, I can bring that in. But I think we're leaving all the rest the same. Okay, no green mana. Certainly makes this awkward, but we have 10 sources of green, so I am going to keep it because we have a good distribution of spells to lands. Ten sources of green, it's our most prevalent color, so there's a pretty good shot we draw it in the next couple turns. It's straight up like, I don't know, it's just a good chance that we draw it over the next few turns. All right, Chief of the Scale, certainly a good card there. Did get the green mana, so we at least get our Highland game, which is nice. Now we're at least on track for this Sultai Flare, too. All right. Well, that's going to work for now, but I guess he currently can't really regen it, which is nice, till he untaps. But I think we're taking 4 this time around. Grizzly's a great draw. So now we can at least attempt to race here. And we've got our Savage Punch online, which could potentially be good. Doesn't really work yet against the Chief of the Scale, regardless of which guy I do it on. I'd have to... I guess it's still like a 2 for 2, since I get rid of the Snake Skin too. But I usually like more exciting Savage Punch plays than that. Could just play the patient game until I get that Sultai Flare online. If he just attacks again, I probably take it and maybe just Savage Punch whatever his follow-up play is. But I guess if his follow-up play is the Sultai Emissary, that could certainly present some issues. All right, we're going to eat that guy and get in for a bunch. So let's just play the Thornwood Falls. Let's Savage Punch the Battle Priest. Got to do it to the Grizzly. Not that that's an issue, but we get in for a ton of damage, which is nice. Actually puts us ahead of the race as well. We actually are at Will of the Naga point now too, which is nice. And Ethereal Ambush, I guess, too, which is nice. Still swinging for the fences with that guy. Let's see what his follow-up plays are now. Another Battle Priest, jeez. Opponent's deck was good. Mandrills. It's not bad either. Pretty tempted to just swing with both and pass. Maybe trades, in which case I'm still okay. If he trades with our Grizzly, takes 2, goes to 8, I think my plan is take the 4 and then Ethereal Ambush at the end of his turn and then Will of the Naga. Yeah. I think that works for me. Alternative thing there was just to Will of the Naga and get in for 6, which would have been good, but I like the idea of getting the Battle Priest off the table since life gain seems like a legitimate way for him to win and could have Feat of Resistance in there. Alright, Sage Eye Harrier. That's not the end of the world. Oh, don't want to cast that one yet. Let's do this one first. See what we flip. One card left in our opponent's hand. 2 spells, by the way. Draw land. So I could cast this for 3, but then I still can't cast anything else. So I think we're just going to lock these guys down at full price. Get in for 6. All right. That's not enough, so he's got to have one more creature here. Even a removal spell's not enough. Even if he has another creature, it's not enough. So I don't think he's got enough here to come back. Because removal plus block still has him. If he has Douse and Gloom, Douse and Gloom's his out. If he has Douse and Gloom, I think he wins. Not even wins. I guess I get to play something. All right. He concedes. So got round 3, got round 1. We did end up getting a Flooded Strand. So this draft is essentially free, which is nice. Yeah, if I could go back, I would have built it Sultai. The thing was, I guess I should have just been willing to take Rugged Highlands early, because I don't regret the Rugged Highlands picks early. That wasn't the wrong pick, because I basically gave up cards that ultimately I don't really care about for lands that made my mana base better. But I think I just shouldn't have wanted to go Teamer. I think I was just really hopeful that we would see more Teamer cards. We saw the Teamer Charm, but then it was in the same pack as the Error of the Wilds that we really wanted, even though it didn't, come into play that often. I guess we got it out a couple times. It's not like this deck was terrible. Obviously, it wasn't terrible. It performed, adequately. It was just we knew going in that it didn't have the rare quality that I feel like decks have come to need to win in this format. So I think what I should have done is taken the Rugged Highlands, taken that Gurmag Angler instead of the... I got to try and remember what I took over the... I think it was an Inoc Guide. I believe I took an Inoc Guide over a Gurmag Angler. If I could go back, I'd take the Angler, and then I saw a super late Sultai Soothsayer. So I could have made a really good Sultai deck, I think. The mana base probably would have been significantly worse, but I think ultimately I would have ended up with some better stuff like Rakshasa the Death Dealer and a late Sultai Soothsayer. So in retrospect, if I could go back and rebuild this, it would have been a better Sultai deck, but I think I just was too attracted to the idea of our mana base working so well for Teamer that I ended up just getting lackluster red cards, but good, good green-blue cards, and just only one rare, which is never really what you want. But yeah, I mean, overall the deck did as well as I could have hoped for, I guess. We only gave up one match, so that's not too bad. All right. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you for the next one.